What if you could have an employee that never sleeps, never calls in sick, and works 24/7 without ever getting burned out? Imagine an AI that can handle hundreds, if not thousands of calls for you without costing an arm and a leg. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, let me show you how I built one for my business so I can finally stop answering the phone. For the past 6 years, I've been running a service-based business, which means I've had to make over 6,000 calls, hire a team, train them, monitor what they're doing on the phones, and guess what? I didn't want to spend another minute doing it. So I set out on a mission to create an AI voice agent that could take over that job for me. The catch is that I didn't need to be a tech expert to build it. I did it with no code tools, and in today's video, I'm going to review exactly how I did it, answering some of the most burning questions along the way. Can AI voice agents really replace humans? Are they expensive to run? And most importantly, can anyone tell they're talking to a robot? I'll also give you a peek behind the scenes of how I built it, the tech stack I've used, and of course, the exact prompts and scripts that made it work. So stick around if you want to know how to make an AI voice agent that will actually work for your business. So let's hear the AI voice agent that we'll be building today in action. I'm getting a call.
Hello, Simeon. This is Jessica from Impactful Look. How are you today?
Hi, Jessica. I'm great.
That's wonderful to hear, Simeon. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm reaching out because I saw that you expressed interest in learning more about Impactful Look. I'd love to hear about your health and fitness goals. What's your number one priority when it comes to your well health and fitness right now?
I saw an ad you guys had on Facebook and I was curious because I need to lose some weight, and especially around my waist area. I've been eating a lot more than I should, so I thought I'd sign up.
That's a great step, Simeon. It sounds like you're really motivated to make some changes, especially around your waist area. Losing weight can definitely be a journey, and it's important to find a sustainable approach that works for you. What have you tried in the past to help with your weight loss? And are there specific challenges you face that you'd like to overcome? I'd love to hear more about your experience.
I mean, I've tried dieting in the past, I've tried going to the gym. I even tried hiring a personal trainer, but it was inconsistent. I didn't really get like long-term results and stuff.
I totally understand, Simeon. It can be really frustrating when you put in the effort well, but don't see the results you're hoping for. It sounds like you've already explored a few options, but finding a sustainable approach can be tough. At Impactful Look, we focus on creating personalized and holistic health plans that consider your unique needs and lifestyle rather than one size fits all solutions. We want to help you not only lose weight, but also feel confident and maintain those results. To help you take the next step, we're offering a free consultation with our head coach, Simeon. During this session, we'll dive deeper into your goals, discuss any challenges you face, and see if our program could be a good fit for you. How does that sound?
I mean, it sounds amazing. I would love to chat with the head coach and see how they can help me potentially.
That's great to hear, Simeon. I'm really excited for you to chat with our head coach. It's an excellent opportunity to dive into your well goals and see how we can help you create a personalized plan that fits your needs. What date would you like to book the consultation? I can check the availability for you.
Do you have something available for Thursday at 11 a.m.?
Just you're all set for your consultation on Thursday at 11 a.m. We're excited to learn more about you and your goals and see how we can support you on your journey. If you have any questions before then, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day, Simeon.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye. And as you can see, the AI not only called me, figured out what is my goal, what I've tried in the past, and explained how they can help me book the consultation with the head coach. And as you can see, it's already booked in my calendar for the exact time I requested it, all on autopilot. If I go to contacts here, and what you're going to see, I have all the information that I've submit it on the call. So as you can see, lose weight, especially around the waist area. That's my number one goal. What they have tried in the past, dieting and going to the gym. What do they think they need help with? Achieving long-term sustainable weight loss. As you can see, the AI did all of that without me having to lift a finger. If you want to skip the technical part and have someone come in and build an AI voice agent for your business, book an AI audit below because we can help. Now that you've seen Lyra in action, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of how I built her. So what is the first step in building a successful AI voice agent? It's actually the most overlooked part. But if you get it wrong, the whole thing could fail. And there are two kinds of AI builders out there. The first group focuses all their energy on the technology, connecting systems, adding features, and making things look complex. The problem with all of that is that they end up with a souped up yet ineffective solution. Sure, it works, but it's clunky, impersonal, and doesn't solve a real business problem. And people just don't feel like they're talking to a real human being, and they can tell it's a robot. Now, the second group, they focus on building a solid strategy first. What do they want the agent to do? How it will sound? What's the goal of each conversation? They spend days or even weeks refining the idea. And when it's time to build, the technology becomes the easy part. That's when things take off. You see, AI voice agents aren't just about the talking, they're about connecting. And that starts with your script. And that's where most people fall short. They focus on the voice or the text, but they neglect the one thing that will make or break their AI, which is the conversation. So what is my process? I start by writing down the qualities that my AI needs, just like I would do for hiring a real person. What does the voice need to convey? Is it empathetic, curious, knowledgeable? What specific questions we would need to answer? And from there, I define the agent's core traits and its objectives. Then I create a detailed script that feels natural and engaging, like you're talking to a real human. So here's the Google Doc that I will use to prompt my AI voice agent. And there's going to be a link down below where you can have access. And just as a side note, the best way to prompt AI is to use AI. So here's some of the instructions we'll need when designing our AI agent. We need to design a role-based prompt, meaning that they have to act as a persona and they need to know who they are, what is their task, meaning what they need to do, what is the context, meaning background information, and especially if it's leads, is it a database that you acquired through people subscribing over time? Is it a lead that just signed up now? Is it a cold call? They gotta know what is the context of you contacting the prospects. What is gonna be the communication style? Be specific in terms of steps. What is step 1, step 2, step 3? What are the questions you're gonna be asking them on the phone? What are the potential scenarios? What happens if they say no or yes, and have variables based on that? And also some linguistic nuances as far as how they pronounce certain names, words, numbers, or brand names if you have something specific in your use case. Make sure you ask specific clarifying questions. What is the core purpose of this role? Who is the target audience? What are the primary goals? What communication constraints exist? Are there any special skills or knowledge required? And when requesting the comprehensive details, make sure you prompt AI to give you as much detail as possible and specify that with I want a detailed prompt that covers every aspect of this role. Include exact language to use, step-by-step workflow, how to handle different scenarios, tone and communication guidelines, any specific tools or resources they should use. And this would all make a sense in a second when I show you VAPI, because within the call, there's multiple tools which allow us to do different functions, such as get the time zone, get the time, get our calendar availability, and check things real time before the AI agent actually provides information. What are some potential challenges and how to overcome them? You could have objections or questions that they might ask, and you can provide a knowledge base for that or include it in the prompt if it's something that would inevitably happen on the call. And you also need to provide context or example if possible. So if you have a sample scenario, past calls that have been successful, recordings from your team, extract as much information as possible of the exact thing that you want AI to do. Give it background information about your organization, any specific requirements or constraints, and emphasize on the depth and the specificity. I'm looking for an extremely detailed prompt that leaves no room for ambiguity. Break down each aspect of the role into granular instructions. So we'll take that prompt and we come to ChatGPT and say, I'm designing an AI voice agent for my online health and fitness business called Impactful Look. We help women over 30, and I want to have the AI voice agent call all the interested prospects and leads that come either through social media content or advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you qualify them for booking them in for appointment and follow the instructions below. And now ChatGPT is going to provide the instructions we need for our AI voice agents. And as you can see, we have the role. The AI voice agent primary roles to engage and qualify prospects who have shown interest in Impactful Loop program through social media or advertising on Facebook and Instagram. What is the task? What is the context? What is the communication style? You can see friendly, empathetic, empowering, language professional, but conversational with an approachable and non-judgmental tone. Avoid medical jargon. Keep the language simple and relatable. Pacing natural, unhurried, ensuring clarity in communication, but without sounding robotic or too fast. Emotional nuance. The voice should convey warmth and optimism with an underlying emphasis on helping the prospect achieve their goals. And as you can see, you have the specific steps outlined. So introduction, greet the prospect by name if available, introduce yourself as an AI assistant representing Impactful Look. And here, some clients prefer not to introduce the AI assistant as such, but they name it maybe Jessica or Valeria, whatever name you choose. So it could be, hi John, this is Jessica calling from Impactful Look. How are you today? So the qualifying question, if it's a woman over 30, if no, politely end the call. I wouldn't maybe do that. I would change the questions based on past experience with the leads we have, and usually we ask them about their first goal, and you can see in the final prompt that I have. But this is how I would go about prompting ChatGPT to give me the exact prompt that I would use for my AI voice agent, and I would go and fine tune to make sure that it works for me and my business, and I would modify it. But this is just the level of detail and depth that you gotta go through to ensure that your voice agent is providing relevant information and has clear instructions. So we've got our blueprint for the agent. Now let's dive into the technology. And here's the thing that most people miss. After coming up with the perfect agent concept, they rush into the technology too quickly, picking a cookie cutter solution that just doesn't fit their needs. And that's a mistake I almost made, by the way, because it's super tempting to go with an easy out of the box solution. And many of the providers out there will promise a simple AI voice agent that just works. But I'm telling you from experience, most of the agents that just work are far from perfect, and they just don't do the job well. They're like those fast food burgers that are convenient but not good for your health long term, and in our case, not good for our business long term. And I want you to think about it for a second. You wouldn't settle for a mediocre employee if you're building a team, right? You'd invest the time, energy, and resources to make sure they're the best. And same should go for your AI agent. You want it customized and not generic. And that's why I chose tools that allow me to build my AI agents rather than just buy. Here's the stack I've used: Claude and ChatGPT for conversational intelligence, that's the brain behind our system; 11 Labs for the most natural sounding AI voice; Wellgrow.io for a CRM and calendar management and automation system; Vappy to handle all the custom operations and the actual calling; and Make.com to connect everything like the digital glue. And I'll show you now how they all come together for the perfect system. Okay, so let's see how to piece the technology together and what we'll be actually doing. So we have our website here, and the goal would be that as soon as somebody fills out a form, they get immediately contacted via our voice agent, and we take the first name, the phone number, and we send that over to the system of Vappy that actually handles the call. And how that happens behind the scenes is we use Wellgrow, which is our CRM platform. And as soon as somebody fills out a form, or they have a tag that's added called Vappy call, or the opportunity status is changed for the agent to be calling that lead, we run a webhook that sends the information we just got, which is first name, last name, email, and phone number, and we pass that information over to Vappy to make that call. And we do that through a tool called Make.com, which is the digital glue. And as you can see, the first step is to actually have that webhook. It passes the variables. As you can see, contact ID, that's the unique identifier to make sure that all the information we collect over on that call, we can then pass on to our system and collect as much as we can, just so when a real human contacts the new prospect, they would have prior information about what happened over the phone. So we take the phone and we take the first name, and we also take the current day, because sometimes over the phone, the AI doesn't know what's the time. So it might book the appointment in the past day, and usually in a conversational language, We say, can I have an appointment for tomorrow or the day after or for this Saturday? And if the AI doesn't have context of what day it is today or the time zone it's in, gonna cause some trouble. And then we run the VAPI call, which is the tool that actually does the call for us. And as you can see, we have everything set up here. I'm not gonna go too technical. I'm just gonna give you overview of the system. Then the step number 2 would be once we get in the call to a certain part where they actually say they want to book an appointment, we use ChatGPT to translate that into a real time into our CRM. So we're able to actually book them in for that time. And we always make sure that we provide a future date because again, for reference, sometimes AI messes it up and tries to book an appointment for a day that has already passed or one that is way too far ahead. And this is how we do that. From there on, we run an HTTP request, meaning that we submit that information over to our calendar ID in our location ID, which is where our website is hosted and our calendar is hosted. And we take their contact ID to make sure that we update the relevant contact. And from the ChatGPT result that they said, I want to book an appointment for tomorrow at 2 p.m., it runs the function. So it now knows that it should book the appointment in my time zone, which is +7. And then depending on if there's an availability within our calendar for the time they asked, we run a success, meaning you're perfect, your appointment's booked for the time you requested. Or if the time is unavailable when they want to book, we run a second function and a second HTTP request, checking for times in our calendar, as you can see here on top, running the ChatGPT function again to be able to conversationally provide the 2 available times. And then we run that webhook again with the new result. So this is how we actually book the appointment. And then the last step within make.com would to run the final webhook, which is only once the call's complete, that updates our CRM. So as you can see, it finds the phone number. It then updates the contact and adds the relevant tags here and also updates the custom fields with the information I got from the call. And I'm going to show you in a minute how I got that from vapi.com because this is where we host everything. I just wanted to show you the digital glue or the so-called, make.com. So this is everything I have in here. And then the last thing would be to add a note with a summary from the call. So once we have the sales staff calling, they would know exactly what happened on that call with the AI agent. What we use for voice, like I said, we use 11 Labs, so you can browse around here, but you don't actually need it as it's all connected within vapi.com. So the Vapi AI is a voice AI platform for developers, but don't worry, there's no coding involved. You don't have to go too complex in here. You can set up a simple system just for learning no-code tools such as make.com. And I'm going to show you the assistant I've built and I'll show you my prompt. I'll show you the model. I'll show you everything. But just as a quick overview of the platform, when you click on overview, you have everything that's been going on, how much it costs you per call, what's the duration, which assistant took the call. Then you have the assistants. These are your voice agents and you can name them however you'd like. You have the model, the prompt, and everything that we're going to discuss here in a minute. You have phone numbers and you can either connect them through Twilio, which is what I always prefer because this way I'm able to send text during the call. I can follow up both through phone and text. So sometimes I text them and I say, I will call you immediately. And then I use the voice agent function right away. So that's why we like to connect the numbers through Twilio, but you can buy them directly through the platform here as well. And you can select which number is for which assistant. And again, you can provide a outbound phone number that can redirect to a real human. And that's in a case of a redirect, or if they have a specific question, we reroute and forward the call to a real person. Then for files, this is pretty much the knowledge base for your AI voice caller. This is where you would upload the information that could help answer any questions they might have. This could be the work hours of your business or any relevant information that we don't want to include in the prompt because of the fact that it costs more money if you add more tokens to the prompt itself. So that's why we use the knowledge base. And then tools are the thing that allows you to run the actual functions. Like you see here, get their contact ID, get the booking time they want, and actually book an appointment. And this is how we do that through Vapi by running these so-called functions. And as you can see, it's the same exact function, the contact ID and the booking time. I'm going to explain a little bit more in a second. Then for blocks, we don't have to worry about this now, but it allows people to pretty much build more of a robust flow, just like you see on make.com, that is very visual. It's something that I haven't played around with much. And for squads, this is how you can build multiple assistants that are handling locations. So as an example, you might have one assistant that is booking appointments. You might have another one that is handling customer service. And then third, that is providing maybe tracking their orders or something along those lines. So you can build multiple assistants that are each handling unique different tasks. They have their unique prompt for each one, their unique knowledge base. So this way they're able to do a much better job than if you would try to bundle up all the information in one assistant, if that makes sense. You have a voice library. This is the voice library of 11 Labs. So if you don't want to install 11 Labs, or you can choose any other provider, by the way. They have Cartesia, 11 Labs, Rhyme AI, Play HD, DeepGram, OpenAI, Azure Needs. You can play around with all of them, but what I found personally is that 11 Labs sounds the best. It's the most human realistic. And if you connect your personal account, you can even use your own voice on the calls. And then on the log section, you can see the past calls, what happened, the reason, how much it cost you. You can see the transcription and see if there's any issues with it. And the API request, you can see that's from make.com and you see what is happening. And then for the webhooks, again, you see if there's an error, why is it happening, and you can track pretty much back if there's something wrong with your assistant. And when we come to the assistant, and if you don't have one, you can create a new one. In this example, I already created one. You can see that we have the cost of how much it costs to use Vapi, and it's a fixed cost of 5 cents per minute. There's no upfront fee, meaning you don't pay a monthly subscription. You just pay as you go, depending on the time you use to talk. And some conversations are more complex, some are more simple. That's why I like to have a framework for each and every conversation to make sure they're not too long. I try to keep them within 5 minutes. And then you have the other providers and you can see the cost breakdown. Then that's DeepGram, that's Cent. And we have the model, which is GPT-4o mini. In this case, it's again another Cent, which is great. And then we have 11 Turbo, which is the model of 11 Labs. And this comes about 4 cents almost. And then the latency is the speed at which the AI would reply. And that really depends on how many tokens you have here, the voice you choose, the model, and all sorts of things. But in our case, we've managed to get it down to 900 milliseconds, which is pretty fast. Down below, we have model, transcriber, voice, functions, advanced, and analysis. I'm going to go through each one fairly quickly just to make sure that you understand fully. So the model is essentially where you design the provider that we're going to be using to actually come up with the answers. And in this case, we use OpenAI. And you can use, as you can see, Together, Perplexity, any scale. But we found that OpenAI is the most affordable one, but also one of the fastest out there. And we're super happy with it. And for the model, you can choose which one you want to use. You can see what is the speed at which it replies, like the 4o cluster. It's a lot better in terms of the output, but then it costs a little bit more. For knowledge base, you can upload the document. We've already uploaded ours. Temperature, I like to keep it the way it is. I don't change it. And for max tokens, if your AI gives lengthy responses, you can reduce that a little bit, but I like to keep it as is. That's, I think, the one that's provided by the app. And for emotion, I'd like to detect the emotion. That's usually when the prospect's angry, yelling at you, or, not crying, but maybe upset over something. Yeah, I would detect that. So it would change the tone of voice and would be a lot more empathetic if you didn't have that in there. Now, for the prompt, as you can see, I've already done the work in the first step. So you can see the role of our, voice agent. You're Jessica, the friendly assistant of Impactful Look. You're passionate about helping people achieve their fitness and wellness goals, and you're excited to get to know each client. What is their task? You can see first name, just recently filled out a form requesting more information about Impactful Look. You're calling to offer a free consultation with our head coach, Simeon, so you can learn more about their health and fitness goals and discuss how our program might be a good fit. They want to book an appointment directly, run the health and fitness booking tool. This is the tool that I just showed you in a minute right here that you're able to use to get first their contact ID, but then run the booking function. And this is how you would actually activate the actual calendar here to be able to book that appointment. And then your opening line is this. It always starts with that. You can play around with it. You can have multiple agents to test the first line, depending if you're doing a cold caller or inbound calling. And then here is the steps of how to prompt the agent. I'm not going to go into granular detail, but some important notes: to be warm and friendly, the time zone, offer choices, always be polite and encouraging, and improving natural pronunciation. Sometimes the AI says in a weird way AM and PM, so that's why we train it on how to do it. And then some of the extra guidelines for the AI. So on the transcriber, this is actually what takes the voice from the prospect and transfers it back to a language that the AI could read and understand. And for that, we use DeepGram. We found it's working the best. So we use Nova 2. Then for the voice, you can choose one that you like from 11 Labs, but make sure that you choose one that is specific, again, to the country you're in. So if you're in Australia, choose an Australian accent. If you're in the UK, choose an UK accent. If you're in the US, choose an American accent. And we see that for support staff and appointment booking, women voices work a lot better. So this is just a hidden insight here that you can take with a grain of salt. Always test things, but this is what we've seen works best. And this is the model we're using. That's a background sound. If you want, for example, during the call to have some sort of noises, like it's in the office or something happening, I don't really like that. For filler injections, we turn it on. Back channeling enabled, saying where it's like, yeah, just so it sounds more natural. I already have that in my prompt, so I turn it off. Stability, we want to make sure we keep it around 0.6. Clarity and similarity, we found that 0.75 works best. Style exaggeration, none, because the voice that I'm using is already exaggerated. Optimizing for streaming, we want less latency, meaning that we want the agent to reply as fast as possible. Then the functions is essentially the tools. It was functions in the past, but they've recently changed to tools. And this is how you would actually run the appointment booking function. You set it up from tools and then you connect it here. And this allows you to have the end call function, meaning that once the agent hears something that implies that the call would be over, such as bye, thank you, or something along those lines, the agent can now end off the call, which is great because first it costs you less money, but also it's a lot more realistic. And this is exactly what it would say as the call's over. This is the forwarding number in case of there's an issue or we want to transfer the call live. For the advanced function, depending on the industry you're working, you have HIPAA compliance, audio recording, video recording. You want to turn that on. Waiting to reply, I usually keep it as short, either 0 seconds or 0.1. Smart endpoint, meaning that it knows when the prospect has ended talking and it would immediately start talking. Again, number of words, we like to stop speaking when the prospect says 2 words. We don't like to put it at 1 because sometimes there's background noises and things that the AI picks up and it would usually stop. So we want to have at least 2 words. The voice in seconds, we like to have 0.2 seconds here. Back off seconds, we just have it at 1. Silence timeout, meaning that the call's ended because of inactivity. If they don't say anything for 25 seconds, we stop there. The maximum duration of the call, I set it at 320 seconds. Why? Because it costs a lot of money. And if you have people that are just calling and talking to the AI just for the sake of it, the bill could quickly add up. And this is actually the webhook that once we run the function for booking, it actually runs that function. And this is how we actually start sending that information here. This is how you would do that. And here's the client messages that we want to collect. Hang, function call, result, 2 calls, and then we have 2 calls result. And then here's the server messages we need to be able to get all the information from the call we need. End of call report, hang, function call, and then we have the 2 calls. And here's the voicemail that we drop. Hey, it's Jessica. Please give me a call back when you can. Here's the end message we use. I have a great day. And sometimes if the prospect stops replying in the middle of the call, I would say, hey, are you still there? And we could add multiple, questions there. I don't like to add too many. Are you still there is a good one. And then max idle messages, we keep that at 3 and timeout 6 seconds. Here's the analysis that's important of extracting information after the call. And you can give a detailed prompt here. We like to keep it as is. We don't do that. For the success evaluation, if the caller books an appointment, then it's successful. And we use a simple true false statement. Pass and fail, you can select it from here. Here's the structured data. Extract the following information from the call, if any, summarize it in 1 sentence. So the number 1 health and fitness goal, what they've tried in the past, and what they think they need help with. And this is how we extract the information that we upload into the custom fields of our CRM. So this is VAPI, this is make.com, this is wellgrow.io. So this is how we run the actual system of setting up our AI voice agent. So that's how the tech comes together. You customize the parts that matter the most so the AI is fully aligned with your business needs. But here's the thing, a great AI voice agent is just one piece of the puzzle. You need to think beyond just calling your lead. Sure, AI can make calls, but what happens when prospects don't answer? Or they hang up early, or maybe they don't feel ready to buy. If you don't have a follow-up strategy, all your AI work is pointless. That's why you need a complete system that integrates lead generation, AI calls, and multi-channel follow-up. With AI, you can nurture leads over time, sending texts, emails, and even social media messages. And unlike humans, AI never gets tired or feels too pushy. It can follow up endlessly until the prospect says no thanks or I'm not interested. So here's how I set it up. I use Wellgrow to manage all my leads, tagging them, and setting up a flow that includes voice calls, texts, emails, and even WhatsApp messages. and it's all automated and fully customized to meet the needs of my lead. It's a system that works even when I'm asleep. Let me show you. So as soon as they not pick up the first call, they're tagged and they would get a second, third, fourth, all the way up to 8 calls. And depending on the day, they might get extra follow-ups on WhatsApp, email, and get added to a second campaign. And this is how we make sure that all the leads that come in are taken through a proper follow-up sequence on all channels, whether it's email, SMS, WhatsApp. And it looks complex, and it may be, but that's what it takes to replace a team of human appointment setters or people that are calling your leads on your behalf. This is how you set up a complete system. That's how you set up a full-scale AI follow-up system, and it works like charm. So there you have it, how to build a customized AI voice agent that can handle your calls, follow up with your leads, and grow your business 24/7. But there's one thing that I haven't mentioned yet. None of this will matter if you don't have a steady stream of leads coming in. And that's why in my next video, I'll show you how to set up a full marketing system that drives traffic and generates leads, because without that, your AI agent won't have anyone to talk to. So click right here to watch the next video and learn how to set up a complete marketing system for your business in 2025. I'll see you there.